All right, everyone, let's talk about discrepancies between platforms. There are a few guarantees in life, and discrepancies between platforms, unfortunately, is one of them. However, we don't need to view discrepancies as a bad thing, but rather it's important that we understand the reality of discrepancies as we do any sort of data analysis. So with that being said, let's look at Google Analytics as a prime example where we might see discrepancies in the platform. So one of the most common questions I've gotten from my clients over the years is, why are we seeing less conversions in Google Analytics from the UTM than what you're showing me in the reporting? This is actually less of a discrepancy and more of a difference in tracking methods. So as we all know, UTMs, which is what Google Analytics uses, rely on a user to click the ad to register in Google Analytics. This means Google Analytics isn't tracking any post-view conversions taking place on the site from users who might have been served a programmatic ad. What often happens, if you're like me, you see a banner ad, it intrigues you, but you don't click it. Instead, you open a new tab and navigate to the brand via search or some other way. It doesn't mean the ad didn't do its job. This is simply how a lot of us consumers navigate within a typical marketing funnel. Because of this, you actually might see a bump in your lower funnel tactics, such as paid search or even paid social, when you activate a programmatic tactic like display, online video, or CTV. In Google Analytics, these lower funnel tactics get all the credit because of the user clicking the ads, but what led them to that last click is a big part of the story. Unfortunately, GA is sometimes missing. Luckily, with Pixels, we're able to capture those conversions that might have taken place after the user was served the ad and simply viewed it, but didn't necessarily click it. Another discrepancy that seems to be coming up more frequently is actually the opposite of what I just outlined, where we're seeing more traffic or sessions in Google Analytics than what we're seeing from a clicks or conversions perspective in first-party reporting. A few things could be going on here. So first, the UTM code for the campaign might be being used mistakenly on another campaign. So that's why QA is so important. The UTM code could also be being shared across multiple users. Think of a user who shares a link on their social page. They may not realize there was a UTM tied to it, and therefore it inflates the numbers. Another case could be a user's cookie settings or the cookie settings on the site that we're sending the traffic to. If there's any sort of cookie blocking, most pixels as they stand today aren't able to capture and attribute those conversions or actions back to the campaign, but can still be captured in Google Analytics via a UTM if it was clicked on. Another cause might be bot clicks. So first and foremost, not all bot clicks are bad. DSPs such as Xandr have beefed up their ad auditing where test clicks to ensure there are no redirects are happening more frequently throughout the course of a campaign. Google Analytics and other site analytics tools have historically been really good about filtering these out. However, my assumption here is since these bot IPs might be on the newer side, they just haven't caught up to filtering them out yet. You could actually easily identify this type of bot traffic in Google Analytics by looking at the referred domain, as it's typically not a domain you would have served ads on. It might say something like ad preview or pub preview. The last discrepancy I want to touch on is geographic discrepancies. And this comes down to platforms and their own geographic identification tracking methodologies. And this isn't just specific to Google Analytics, this is across all platforms. When one platform might use IP to document a user's location, another might use a self-identified location or their physical location. A perfect example of this is Pandora, and I just came across this. For the longest time after moving to Michigan, I was getting served ads from my home state of California. I thought it was strange since I was physically located in Michigan. I thought maybe it had something to do with my area code still being a California area code. So one day I decided to look at my Pandora settings and I realized I never updated my zip code in the platform. So once it was updated, I actually started getting the local Michigan ads. But this made me realize that those ads I was being served before that were California ads when I was located in Michigan, I was probably registering as Michigan via my physical location or IP to some platforms, but to Pandora, I was considered California as my self-identified location. So in conclusion, what should you use Google Analytics for when doing any sort of data analysis? GA4 or any site analytics tool is absolutely vital in understanding not only how users are navigating to your site from a last click perspective, but also understanding what areas of the site they're actually navigating to and spending the most or the least amount of time on. This allows a marketer to make informed decisions when it comes to making any sort of adjustments and optimizing your website to the best user experience possible.